Hi. Hello. Welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome. Why are you here? Go away. This is the Road Closed Podcast. It is me, the
We have a
Milkman,
name
or
now.
Sully. We do have a name now. Yeah, that's right. We have a name. This is Road Closed. I'm Sully. I'm the proprietor of this fine establishment. And we're going to
Find a
start off
stretch of
again
road.
by naming something random that's happened to you in the last week or so. You know, shit that's happened to you. So, I'm Sully, and I almost killed a lady at work today.
I'm Garrett, and I drive a 240.
What year?
Shit, 98, 98.
Hi, I'm Caden. I'm the resident pothead.
And a member who was not with us here last time, but is this time, Logan. Friend.
I'm Logan. I was just getting my ass stomped in Dark Souls.
Yeah, I'm Isaac. The other day at work, I had a woman mentally break down on me because her ex-husband had a stroke and she had to take care for him. Weird. They were on their way to Arizona. It's crazy.
Hi,
Certain.
I'm Landon. Adobe will never get another nickel from me for as long as I live.
That's not what I thought you were gonna say.
Da Vinci Resolve Forever.
That and Affinity. Let me speak this out into the world since this is on recording. Adobe is too expensive. It's got some nice little bobs and whistles, and they tried to overprice things because they got something called a cloud and all these absurd features that no one in their right mind's ever gonna use. Affinity. I hate it. It's owned by Canva. But I hate Canva, not Affinity. Affinity, cheap as fuck. One time payment. One time payment. 160 for the entire thing of what you pay $600 a year for Adobe. Never again.
fucking dollars.
Adobe is
Never
awful, bro.
It's
If
like
that's
the king of
that's if
monopolies, dude.
that's if you pay the yearly subscription. If you do it monthly like I used to, that's $700+ a year. I paid $80 because right now they have a half off deal. I paid $80 now, and Adobe's
You
never
only
going to
have
get
to spend an
darn
arm this time.
To be
You
fair,
know,
when you pay for Adobe, and I'm not supporting Adobe at all, but you get Photoshop and Premiere and everything.
Yeah, for $80, I got what is essentially Illustrator, Photoshop, and InDesign.
I use Autodesk, and it is much more expensive. But since I'm a student, I get it for free, so it
In
works out.
Autodesk, isn't Autodesk another one-time payment too?
No, that one's
Oh, is it?
yearly, and it's expensive. But if you're a student, you get it for free, so that's always
Yeah,
what's cool.
they've got it.
Elements here, and because we had the disc from 2018, we were able to just do the one-time upgrade on one of our other laptops.
Nope, honestly. I use DaVinci Resolve and, fuck, I forget the name of it. What? I literally use it to edit this podcast. Audacity.
I'm gonna have to get DaVinci when I finally need to do video stuff.
Very good. It is very good. I use that
I've
one
heard it's
still.
great.
So, the work story. Today, we had a lady come in. Just a lady, nobody else. It was just her. And she wanted fucking everything on her 2020 Chevy Spark. For those who don't know, oh yeah, for those who don't know, I am a lube tech at Walmart.
Me too.
Great
I work
job,
with him.
fantastic job.
No.
I think bad thoughts every day about how my life could change by never being there. Anyway, this lady comes in, gets an oil change. She gets add-ons on top of add-ons. We have something called a top treat, and it cleans the oil channels in your engine. We have a fuel injection, which does the same thing except for your fuel lines, and we hook a nozzle to your throttle body, and it cleans that too. We also have an odor eliminator, which just sprays directly in through your AC and out your AC. Which is great, actually. I can't smell, but I've heard that is
Yeah,
probably the
lucky you.
best odor eliminator around. I've never heard complaints after it.
The smell is not that great though. It gives me a fucking headache.
Yeah, but doesn't it go away fast? Like
Uh,
15, 20 minutes of driving, it's gone.
if you drive with the windows down, yes.
Well, anyway, she
I just
also.
have an allergy.
That's true, yeah. She also wanted to rotate her tires. So she gets three. She gets a top treat of fuel injection on top of rotating her tires after an oil change. So she gets done with all of this, and I didn't work on the oil change side of it, meaning I did nothing but rotate the tires. And this lady, after everything is done and said and she's paid and walks out, she wants us to check. She got a cabin air filter. That's right. We did her air filters too, on top of everything else. And she came up and she's like, "Yeah, I just want a picture of my cabin air filter for my husband because he's gonna want to see it." I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, I'll." And then I called the guy over who worked on the car, and I was like, "Hey, she wants to see her cabin air filter." And so he goes and grabs it. He gets the cabin air filter. I walk off. I have nothing to do with this at this point. Something happens between the two, and she was just like, Uber Karen scoffed and walked off. I guess she wasn't happy because she thought the cabin filter could last longer or something like that. She walks off, and as far as I'm concerned, she's gone. Her car is gone. She's left. Maybe like 30 minutes later, even 30, 20 minutes later, she comes back and is being this Uber Karen to our service rider, who just a lady who writes up the tickets for us to work on. She's being an Uber Karen, so Andy, our service rider, walks over and is like, "Hey," she says the air in her tires is uneven, so she wants somebody to fix the air. And it was 35 in the front and 30 in the rear, which seems odd, but that's what the manufacturer called for on that vehicle. It's on the sticker in the door. She's like, "No, I want it even." And I was like, "I'm just letting you know, it's the manufacturer, and that's what we always follow. So when next time you bring it in, it'll be set back to the same thing." And she scoffed and was like, "Well, I don't want that." And I was like, "Well, tell us next time, and we won't do that. It'll be, tell us before you get your service." And she scoffed and was bitching the whole time while I was putting air in her tires. And so I'm already annoyed at this point, because I just want this lady to fuck off so I can do my other work. And I finish airing up the tires, and this lady calls me to her driver's side window and is like, "Hey, I got one more thing to show you." I was like, okay. And I set the hose down and walk over there. And this lady points at the button on her, the little handle behind your steering wheel that turns on your lights and shit. Yeah, and the turn signal. There's a button on the end of it, and there's a menu button, because that's how you access your menu on the Spark. And she holds the button, and she's like, "This is how you reset the oil light." And I wanted to be like, "Bitch, I didn't even fucking work on your car. I will end your entire existence." I was so fucking pissed. And I said, okay. And she goes, "Just so you know for next time." And I was like, "Lady, I know what I'm doing. I've been here a long time." And she goes, "Oh, well, I don't think you do because it wasn't reset." And I said, "I didn't even touch your car." And she goes, "It says your name on the tires." And I said, "Yeah, the tires," and looked at her like I was gonna fucking murder her. And she just, and drove off. And I swear to God, if I was any closer to that lady's face, I would have ripped it off.
And then he was explaining it all to me, and I decided to be a smartass, and he
Oh,
didn't make
in the middle of me explaining what had just happened, my blood is fucking boiling. We go to do an odor eliminator, and Caden starts being a smartass, and I'm like, "Look, you better fucking walk away and do this odor eliminator, or I'm gonna put you in the ground." I was so pissed off. I was beyond pissed.
We get people in, because I work at a parts store. I mean, we get people in all the time, and most people, at least where I work, are pretty decent people. But I mean, there are some people, and I was telling you the chronicles of this guy who had a truck in our fucking parking lot for a week and a half because he was too fucking scared to touch it, and then blamed us whenever he asked us for help. Mind you, none of us are fucking techs, none of us are certified. But he asked all of us for help, and then, when he got help that he didn't understand, or it didn't seem to go the way he wanted, or it just wasn't a good call or whatever, he would get mad at us and then ask us for help again. And, you know, it was his compressor had gone out. His AC compressor had gone out. And the pulley had locked up, so he needed a new compressor. And at first, like the first fucking week that the car was there, he was dead set on just bypassing the compressor with a smaller fucking belt. And we couldn't find a belt. It didn't exist. Or it was just, there was something about it going on. Either the pulley system without the AC was a different size, or was like a different setup than the pulley system with the AC, because the belts for one with and one without there was a 10-inch difference between them. So we sat there and tried to find a belt that didn't exist, and then he got mad whenever we couldn't find it. And then, he went to go and just finally, the week later, just finally decided to fucking replace his compressor. And the motherfucker got 4 bolts in and pushed out and started complaining and started he called me out. I was working at the counter. He called me out there to come and take a look at what he was dealing with, because there's 2 coolant hoses. There's 2 coolant lines that go to the top of the compressor. They are both in one channel that's locked down with 1 bolt. So it would have taken 1 bolt to get those out. Well, he's sitting here, he's like, well, how do I do this? And I was like, it looks like a 12 mil bolt. And he's like, well, I mean, it's just, he just starts going on this rant about how upset he is. And then he's like, I am never going to recommend anybody to this place again. And I'm like, you know what? I am glad to hear that.
Bro, we get that all the time.
I said that to his face. I was like, I'm glad to hear that. And he goes, excuse me? He was like, you shouldn't be putting yourself on a pedestal over my discontent. And I was like, can I just be honest with you for a second, man? We spent the last week. I was like, no bullshit. Let's just be honest with each other right quick. I was like, I understand the situation you're in is a bad one. It's not a great situation to be in. I wouldn't want to be in that situation myself. I get it. I was like, but we've spent the last week trying to bend over backwards, trying to help you find parts to get this thing back on the road, and you have been nothing but disrespectful and condescending to everybody in the store who has tried to help you. And I told him, I was like, if you're going to keep doing this, I've had a bad fucking day. I will tow your shit tonight and you can walk home. He calmed down after that. He was like, he started to understand a little more of the situation that I was in with his truck, because I don't give a fuck. That has no bearing on my life.
I hate people who think that parts store employees are mechanics.
Well, and his truck was in our fucking parking lot for a week, dude.
Yeah.
And it's just like, bro.
Showed that shit anyway, whether they liked it or not.
Well, and the worst part, too, the part that really pissed me off was the first night that he came in and that truck was broke down, I recommended that he just replace the compressor and be on his way. And he got mad at me. He was like, oh, I've never replaced a compressor. Have you ever replaced a compressor? Do you know how it works? And I was like, not on that truck, no. And he's like, well, exactly. So you're trying to tell me to do something that I've never had any experience with. I didn't tell him at the time. I did end up telling him that last day when I told him I'd tow his shit, though. I was like, dude, had you replaced the compressor when I told you to replace the compressor? Or had you replaced it when you first showed up here? You would have been gone 4 hours earlier than the fucking week that you spent here. Like, it would have taken you not even a day. It's like fucking 5 bolts to get the compressor off. It's not hard.
I've had plenty of people come in and ask if we could change out their tie rods and things like that. And I'm just like, I have no idea how to even do that in my car. You can't even. They get so mad when they whenever I tell them that you can't do that.
Yeah, anybody ask for like tie rods or anything, but we every now and then we got people who come in like, hey, can you swap out our brakes? And we're like, no, what?
You guys do alignments?
Midas
Like, does it look like we fucking do? Excuse me?
We get alignments so often. And mind you, you have to have a special machine to do alignments. Like, you have to have this whole fucking thing to be able to do that.
You have to have an alignment rack, yeah.
We have
You think Walmart's
two
gonna pay for
floor
this shit?
pads
No.
and 2 half jacks that are like, you can lift a car all the way up if you want to, but it's just meant to lift the car up off the ground enough to be able to do tire work. So it's just like the forearm thing that lifts the cars. It's not even rated to lift them more than a foot off the ground.
Simple alignment tools.
We do not have a single thing that could help us do alignments.
No.
At
We can't even
Tech-
find half our tools most of the time.
At Tech, we had like a fucking state-of-the-art alignment rack. It was wild, dude. It was like $120,000 machine.
Oh my god, can I rant about the fucking tool situation for just a second?
Yes.
Why
Go right.
in the absolute fuck does Walmart have a specific list of tools that you are only allowed to use? We can only use Steelman. We can't use anything else. Only Steelman. We can't use our own tools. We have
a
to use
contract
shop
thing.
provided tool. No, I know why. I understand that much, but also
No,
we're a
okay.
shop. We are a shop. Like Derek, our boss, Derek, this motherfucker, he pissed me off so bad today. Completely unrelated to the tool situation. But I digress. He gets onto us for losing tools, which I understand, but also it's a shop. We're gonna lose tools. That's how shops work. Even with the cleanest, most cleanly places, if we get busy, we're gonna start losing tools because we're just, it's hectic and there's only 3 of us in the shop half the time, even though there's supposed to be like 5.
And we work with
Ugh.
blind old people with very forgetful memory.
He gets onto us all the time, and I'm just like, if we could use our own tools, this wouldn't fucking happen. This would not happen. Do you know how much easier this would be if I brought my own tools to do this goddamn job? It pisses me off.
No, I agree, 100%.
He's gonna get fired now.
I feel that way about Walmart every time I go there, and they don't even have usually the one thing I've gone there for.
Landon,
Yeah.
at this rate, he'll be gone by the time this episode comes out.
Customer come in a week ago or so, and the dude was like he was looking for a tap because he went to, it wasn't Walmart, it was like Hidden Tires. And he had him do an oil change. And the fucking tech that did the oil change on this guy's car fucking cross-threaded and just destroyed the threads for the oil drain plug.
Happens all the
Fucking-
time.
It was so bad
Not to us, though.
that he ended up having to get a new oil pan
My God.
because there was nothing they could do.
We've had a couple of those, but it's really not something we see too often.
Dude,
Talk about this stuff, the more I'm glad I don't work in automotive.
it's bad. Never.
Listen, if we're talking
I've
about
gotta-
car problems, and
I've
that's
got
just
to replace drain plugs quite often, though.
Drain plugs you're supposed to replace like every 10,000 miles or so. Drain plugs are not supposed to be a permanent fixture on the vehicle.
I just replace the
most,
gasket every time.
Actual dealerships will replace a drain plug every time they do an oil change on a vehicle.
The more you know.
You can reuse a drain plug. I'm still using my current one, but I am next oil change. I'm gonna get a one and a new one.
I always replace the washers when I can, but I only replace drain plugs if they're bad.
It's probably the same OEM one from 26 years ago, so I'm just gonna get a new one. It's probably about time.
Oh, dude, speaking of drain plugs, I don't know if they still do it anymore, but Pontiac at one point, specifically
Oh,
on the
God.
G6s and maybe earlier years, they don't tap the oil pan. They drill the hole and then they heat the threads into the hole.
Yeah, they press them in.
Like some
So
fucking
bad.
GM shit, bro.
It's
They-
so bad.
I have had one car come back and it took the entire thread out. I pulled the drain plug and all of the threads came with it. It was just a smooth bore hole in the pan.
Oh my god,
Fuck,
that
I
is
remember
such
that.
a fucking GM thing, bro. I mean, that's just that kind of quality for that era. The mid 2000s was probably the worst quality that General Motors has ever been for like any car. I mean, those fucking cars are so bad. They are garbage vehicles.
And the look on Derek's face when you brought him that plug was amazing.
Yeah, and how's that even my fucking fault? I didn't create that shitty ass system. I didn't even know it existed. He was like, yeah, they press them in. They use heat. It's kind of like welding. Who the fuck does that? Just tap it. It's metal. You can do that.
Especially when it's a steel pan. Like, why?
Dude, speaking of hating companies, since we're talking about being mechanics and hating dealerships and Walmart, I have a fucking major bone to pick with Highland right now.
I was literally talking with my coworker today about the optimal way to get away with arson and robbery.
Oh my.
Should
What is the
Like we
that's
got
not-
in depth. It was a conversation.
Let's just hop on what Sully's Highland hate right
Yeah,
now.
what was it,
Let's jump
Sully?
right into that.
I, as you here may know, am an avid milk drinker. I fucking drink milk. I cannot describe this in any other way. I have more milk in my bones than anybody has ever drank in their entire life.
Well, there's got to be somebody who's consumed more, but
No.
I don't
get the
think so.
general idea.
There's always a first, and I am the first. There's nobody who drinks milk like me, brother. A lot of you aren't around
He's a
for it.
milk man.
Caden sees it. Kate sees it. Isaac sees it at home.
Yeah, I do. Jesus Christ.
Listen, middle of summer, this man pulls out a full gallon of milk. Sweaty gallon of milk. Been sitting in the shop, 105 degrees outside.
Listen, I won't drink hot milk. Let's make that clear. Unless I make it hot on purpose, I won't
Listen,
drink hot milk.
He will get that gallon down in like 2 hours tops. And even at that point, with there being that much, it's keeping itself cold. You have to realize this.
Yeah, I won't drink gross milk. I don't like gross milk, but I just buy it and consume it. I'll have a
what about the
gallon
strawberry
before
milk?
lunch and then a gallon after lunch. Yeah, anyway, Highland strawberry milk. Alright, I'll start from the first one, actually. I work at Walmart, and at Walmart you can buy little bottles of milk. And one of them that I decided to get in particular was strawberry, because I fucks with strawberry milk. I was so ready to taste the sweet, endlessly succulent taste of strawberry milk. And I opened that bitch up, and I put it up to my lips, and I felt cottage cheese start pouring into my mouth. And I cannot begin
holy
to
shit.
describe how angry I was in that moment. After a long, hot day at work, I finally sit down for lunch. I was pissed. And mind you, the three events that I'm describing happened within a week of each other. Like, one full week, I got 3 different bad milks. Maybe 2 days after that, I went to Walmart with my girlfriend and picked up a half gallon of strawberry milk. And I took it all the way home. We got home. I was excited. I opened it up, poured it into a cup, and again, the white slug of doom poured out into my cup. I could not
White
even
slug of doom.
fathom. I was so upset.
Just for context, these were at different locations too. Right?
Yeah. So where I work is an entirely separate town from where I live. The first one happened where I work. The second one happened where I live. I took it back and got a refund. And I was just going to get another strawberry milk because I was like, oh, it couldn't be happening consistently. I went back there to look for another half gallon of strawberry milk. Every single one of them was bad. All of them were gross.
How do you
Yo, we
fuck
need
that
to-
up so bad?
We need to get Doug on here to talk about this.
Yeah, I have a buddy. We all have a buddy who works as the team lead of dairy at Walmart. And he showed up the same day. I don't know how it happened, but he showed up the same day and was like, yeah, we had a lot of bad milk come in today. And I know somebody forgot to rotate. I don't even know how they worry. Like, they rotate the milk to make sure fresh milk is always on the shelves. But somebody forgot to rotate the milk. And I found that out, and I was like, oh, man, I'm gonna get him fired so fucking quickly. I was upset. But I don't think it was his fault, I'm gonna be honest. Because me and my girlfriend went swimming on Monday. And we were in a town very far away from where I live, and we were headed back. Like an hour and a half drive, and we were headed back. And we stopped at a gas station so I could get gas. And she's like, yeah, I want a drink. And I was like, oh, okay, get me a strawberry milk while you're in there. This is a gas station completely separate of the two places that I've already bought strawberry milk. Now, I don't think anything of it. We're driving home. I get probably 20 minutes away from home. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm thirsty. My throat's a little parched because we like to sing, so my throat gets dry. I was like, yeah, you want to open this for me? And she opens it up, and I grab it, and I'm ready to taste the beautiful taste of strawberry milk. And I feel that same slug touch my lips. And the look of horror that crossed across her face. She saw it, and I very calmly, and this is telling on myself a little bit here, but I very calmly put the lid back on the strawberry milk and then chucked it into the field we were passing. And I haven't had any strawberry milk since.
Bad, but on the other hand, I would sometimes you're just
I
a little
would
too
have the
pissed off
same
to
thing.
respond. I mean, I'm sorry, but if something like that happens, I'd probably end up doing the same thing just out of the sheer fucking shock of it all.
At that point,
Third time cock blocked from strawberry milk, somebody's got to die.
I was defeated at that point. I threw it out the window, and then we drove for the next 10 minutes in complete silence.
You just had to give the cows an example
Oh.
of back what they were failing at.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I got
Oh,
a
better.
fine job. The people
How
that were
dare
supposed to
those
keep that shit in
cows
the right
make
condition
bad
were
milk.
doing the bad job.
fuck Island. I don't know what you did to that milk, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who's had this experience. Speaking of Brahms, this leads perfectly into this question that I had for everybody. Provided to you by somebody here that I forgot because I'm not looking at the chat right now. What is the best fast food place in your humble opinion?
With me,
Hmm,
I
Wendy's.
provided that one.
Okay, so what is it?
I gotta say, it's probably Freddy's.
Dude, I fucking love Freddy's.
Freddy's Steak Burger.
Freddy's is
My personal
solid, but
opinion-
my argument would be against them being fast food because it's not really quick. I mean, even if you go through the drive-through, you're still
Quicker
spending
than a sit-down restaurant.
fast day.
You want to know?
food
You want to
pretty
know a
fast.
sit-down restaurant that has consistently been faster than any fast food that I have had? McAllister's.
Never been.
This motherfucker has been going off about McAllister's all week.
Well, I went to
Oh, I
McAllister's
fucking
with him
love
last
McAllister's.
weekend. Last Sunday, I went to McAllister's with him.
How
I
was
love
it?
it.
It was all right. I mean, it's a
You
sandwich
got
place.
a grilled cheese sandwich.
I
There's
did.
one
It
of
was
those
good. It was
here,
a
I just
fried
haven't
cheese
been
grilled
there yet.
cheese sandwich.
He's
Okay, I
making
have a
them,
question about. He's making them. I have a question
He's making
about McAllister's. Is it like
What's
Subway sandwich shop, like Subs, or is it like?
Nice sandwich
No,
shop,
it's
but
like-
it is a sandwich
I would
shop.
concer it almost like gourmet sandwiches,
restaurant.
but they're
It's-
small. They're small. It's good for like a lunch.
It's a restaurant,
And
but
the
it's
portions
a
are pretty
restaurant based
decent.
around sandwiches. Is
Yeah.
a good way to explain
I
it.
think we collected that much.
And soups and chili.
Your run-of-the-mill deli
And-
type thing, it seems.
And actually, they are best known for their sweet tea. Their sweet tea is fucking amazing.
I would have never guessed
Their
that.
drinks rather than the food that they serve. Doesn't that mean
Yeah.
that their food is subpar? Just based off standard alone, most places that serve food are known for the food, right?
You want to know some sweet tea that is the exact opposite, though? Quick Trip sweet tea. That shit will have you doubled over, puking up
I
your
have a
guts on a
Quick
hot
Trip
summer day.
being built really close to me, and I'm super excited. I am going to be getting set up for their fucking rewards, and
I
I
have never heard a man
all of
so
the
excited
fucking
about Quick
tornadoes.
Trip.
bro, I love their taquitos or their tornadoes.
I fuck with some Quick Trip. I'm not gonna lie to you.
The claw, man. See, I've actually come a lot to enjoy Come and Go. And Come and Go is just they
I can't.
typically have more shit, and it's almost always better quality than Quick Trip.
Not
I will
here.
say this though, Quick Trip, if you're looking like Quick Trip is really good about their policy, like bad gas and stuff. Like if you get gas from Quick Trip and it turns out to be bad gas or whatever, it fucks up your car in one way or another. If you reach out to Quick Trip and explain the situation, and you can prove, which is not typically hard, that you got bad gas from Quick Trip, they will fix your shit, or if it's too beyond repair to be fixed, they will replace your shit, no questions asked, and they will do it post haste. Like Quick Trip is really good about taking care of their customers and on the end of gas, but As far as like the inside go, I mean, it's just they lack a lot.
I will say they have slighted me lately. For starters, tonight, my dad, like on many Saturday nights, sometimes he just stops by Quick Trip, gets some taquitos, and usually like a pretzel or something for me. I'm not a huge fan of the pretzel cheese that they use. It basically is just normal fucking queso that you'd get out of a jar. Uh, when I think of big fucking pretzel with cheese, I think of that Auntie Anne's pretzel cheese. So theirs isn't great, admittedly, but it's not bad, except for the cheese I got tonight. I swear they gave me the oldest cheese they had in the establishment. I honestly think it's grossed me out to the point where I will not have another pretzel for a while from them. But they've also caused one other issue. The Quick Trips down there, do they still have the frozen coffees, or do they do away with those
Yeah,
already?
like the Frappuccino coffee things.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
fucking got rid of them here. I was going one day because I was sleep deprived and I wanted a little bit of caffeine and something cold. And I go in there, they have the pricing board for the hot drinks and the cold drinks above the coffee station, mind you, so it can't be confused with a slushy. They have the thing still listing the cold drinks, but the machine's not there. It has never come back since that day. They got rid of my horchata, and I liked drinking that occasionally.
I was about to say, Come and
Why'd
Go
they have to
has
do it?
horchata.
I don't have one of those
Come and
anywhere
Go
nearby.
does have horchata.
I
Oh,
live in
dude.
bumfuck
And it's
Egypt,
pretty
where
good.
we have Casey's and fucking Casey's Quick Trip and Jumpstart, and all three of them are.
If Casey's was close enough, if there was one close enough to where I work, I would be at a Casey's for lunch.
Speaking
Casey's is all the way
fucking love
across town
Casey's.
for me. We used to really like
Casey's
Casey's
is
for the
okay.
pizza, but
The Casey's pizza is the shit, dude. You cannot get a better pizza for like I think their largest are like after tax and everything is said and done is like $20.
I used to
Woodshed
love the
Simple
barbecue
Simon's
beef.
pizza. I prefer Woodshed
Costco.
Simple Simon's over.
Oh, Costco
Uh,
pizza
Simon's?
fucks, bro.
I was
Costco
gonna
pizza
say,
is so
I have
fucking
never
good,
had
dude.
Costco pizza.
Costco
Listen,
I've never
pizza
been in a
is
Costco.
insane, bro.
Or I might have been to a Costco.
listen, guys,
Uh,
I need to say something. This is very important. When you were talking about best fast food, I made a mistake and I said Wendy's. Costco Deli.
Dude, Costco chicken bakes are on a whole nother level of
They
good
are
food.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll admit
Fucking
that
bring
Their
it
Costco
hot
has
dogs
some bomb
impeccable.
food, but do they technically count as fast food?
It's fast.
It's deli.
It's food.
Yeah.
Very fast. It's good food. And their
Dude, I have
pizzas
to-
are
I
like
have to-
$10.
Walmart.
I have to
Damn it,
say
I
I
must
like
sneak into a
Wendy's as an
Costco.
option. I do like Wendy's as an option for this fast food running. I think personally one of my favorites is Whataburger. Whataburger's ketchup, I think, is what makes most of the difference in terms of like the flavor.
Dude, their
and the
spicy
quality.
ketchup,
I don't really fuck with their spicy ketchup all that much, but
it tastes like sloppy Joe mix.
I've noticed that the food doesn't taste too much different than, say McDonald's or whatever. I mean, it has its own distinct taste and stuff, but it's the ketchup that really sets it apart from most other things because their ketchup is special.
So
And I
Whataburger
think
and
that's what makes them so good.
Whataburger and McDonald's use the same meat patties.
Places do.
I don't fucking like
fact.
McDonald's. McDonald's has become
McDonald's
everything that you hate. They literally
It's made
have the
me
shittiest
very
fast
sick.
food in the world. And now they're charging absurd prices for the shit that you used to get when you didn't.
God, yeah, they are.
The dollar
It's-
menu is like a fucking $5 menu now.
It's not even cheap, and it's still the same shitty quality.
Oh yeah, and
They-
their fries have gone significantly down. You used to get nice,
100%.
fresh, salty fries. Now it's just soggy. Maybe like I would say like Five Guys level fries. How they're just not good.
Ugh.
Oh, dude, speaking of McDonald's,
Continuity from McDonald's anymore is their nuggets, which are pretty consistent across the board.
and
I
made of
will not get
horse.
their nuggets.
Speaking of McDonald's, have you guys seen that they've implemented a 30-minute like loitering thing? You can't stay in their lobby for more than 30 minutes now.
You
Yeah,
were talking
I
about
stay
that
there
the
for
other
31
day.
minutes.
I've decided I don't care about that sign, and I will spend as long as I want eating.
I want to know
Oh.
why. It's everywhere.
Is
It's
it-
like countrywide.
Is it like you can't, even while you're eating, stay longer than 30 minutes, or just if you finished your food and they'll just fucking start running the timer on your ass and be like, you got 29 more minutes, big boy.
Listen, because what if it takes me more than 30 minutes to eat my food? You're gonna kick me out halfway through my meal? Bro, if some motherfucker who works at McDonald's comes up to me while I'm eating my burger and they're like, hey, I'm gonna throw that shit in their face and jump the fucking counter. Like, it's getting aggressive.
You know that thing where people are like on the water fountains, like 1, 2, 3, that's enough for you, or something like that? What if they start doing that in McDonald's?
You're in the
Honestly,
middle of
I
taking
don't-
a drink of the McDonald's Sprite, and they're just like, no more for you.
I
It's-
can't
it's
imagine
fucking
McDonald's
odd.
employees caring enough to even enforce that, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that shit. Well, the managers fucking will, because managers at McDonald's make a lot of fucking money, so they give
That's
a shit
fair.
about their business.
In summary, you don't have to care that much if you verbally berate them for trying to interrupt your burger time.
Dude, if some random fucking McDonald's employee walked up to me and was like, hey, I'm gonna have to ask you guys to leave, I'd like, you don't get paid enough to tell me when I should eat my food and when I shouldn't.
I'm telling you, dude. If somebody was like, "All right, you're 30 minutes," it's on site. We're fighting in the fucking lobby.
McDonald's is the new
Like-
Waffle House.
You're about to get into a fucking McBrawl.
I do like Wendy's though. Wendy's is a good place. It's just fucking expensive. That's my biggest issue with Wendy's.
I think I've only eaten at Wendy's like
It's
twice.
definitely on the pricier side.
But I
Buns
mean,
around
it
here
is
suck.
They've got
quality
some
food.
decent deals on the app, and that makes it a little more affordable. And it is good. It's good food. It's genuinely just good food. You can't go wrong with Wendy's.
As far as fast food goes, I feel less bad about myself when I eat at Wendy's because it feels more quality. It feels like I'm eating something that's not going to immediately kill me.
I almost always feel like shit after eating fast food.
There is one fast food that almost nobody likes that I fuck with so hard just because of their cheese, and it's Arby's. You give me
Oh,
a
man,
fucking
I love
classic
Arby's.
smothered
I
smothered in that
can't
cheese
believe-
sauce.
Arby's curly
bro.
fries, the best. With their honey
Okay.
Dijon mustard, the best.
I think Arby's has the best mozzarella sticks out of any fast food joint, and I think that's just facts. I think that's just how it is.
I have never had them, but I will say, you see, I don't have the experience with their cheese to say for certain if it's really good, but I fuck with the curly fries and the Jamocha shake, and that's pretty much it.
People shit on Arby's all the time, and I'm like, why, bro? Burger King exists.
Nobody's ever.
Oh, dude.
Anytime
I thought
I've
you were
been to
gonna say.
Arby's, nobody else was there. Nobody goes to Arby's, it seems. How are they
That's
still
true.
in business?
Arby's has got to be like the new fucking Long John Silver.
They are
gotta be,
hemorrhaging
laundering money.
Dude, we brought up Burger King earlier. Me and Isaac actually have a story from Burger King.
It
We-
was so bad.
I don't even remember how long ago it's been. It's been so long now, and I haven't been back to a Burger King since. But I think we were on our way to a concert.
I think it was Warped Tour. That
Warped
we were on
Tour?
the way to.
Oh, fuck, it's been forever. It's probably like 2017
Oh,
then.
God.
I want to say 2017. We went to, or no, because Caden and
You-
Caden
It
and
must
Jessica
be-
weren't there, so it had to. I think it was the My Chemical Romance concert.
No, it wasn't that recent.
Oh, you're
I was younger. It might have been like.
Oh no, it was the Pentatonics concert.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we went to a Pentatonics concert, and we stopped at a Burger King beforehand, because we were like, yeah, it's on the way, we'll just, we'll go there. I cannot even fathom what happened between cash register and food, because they took our order, everything was fine, they read it back right, all the different stuff for the sandwiches correct. It came to us, and we were just taking it to go, so it was in a bag. We got to the car and started pulling stuff out. Mom got a sandwich that was entirely wrong. She ordered like a double burger, something like that, got a chicken sandwich. I ordered like 3 orders of fries just because I wanted some french fries and a burger. I didn't even get fries, I just got a plain burger with nothing on it. And Isaac got whatever the Burger King equivalent of a Happy Meal is.
No, I remember what it was. It was literally just they sell Uncrustables. It was just an Uncrustables, a fries, and a drink. And I pulled the Uncrustables out of the bag, and it's just rock solid frozen.
It was so frozen.
We threw it against the concrete, and it didn't it like shattered. It was awful.
The Uncrustable wasn't even the first thing he got, though, because we went back inside because they didn't have what he wanted originally, and Mom didn't even. Like, we went back. I got my fries, Mom got her actual sandwich, and got to keep the chicken sandwich. I don't even remember what you ordered before the Uncrustables, but the Uncrustables was like the, yeah, I'll just take that instead type of thing. And he got it frozen. It was a brick. It was the hardest sandwich I've ever felt in my entire life.
I could have killed someone with the sandwich. Like, I don't know
Imagine
why.
dying from an Uncrustable.
My mom was pissed. She walked back inside and she was like, what the fuck is this? Like, straight up to the cashier, she was like, how fucking dare you hand this to my child? We got that whole meal refunded.
I think the biggest issue with Burger King is not necessarily the food, although it's not great, but I think it's more the quality of service. Like, there's a Burger King, it's the closest, other than Taco Bell, it's the closest restaurant to where I work. And I don't go there. I've been there a couple of times, but the fucking service is so bad. It's like the people who work at Burger King were told to show up and that's it. That's how they keep their job.
No training
It
or
does
anything.
nothing else matters,
Sounds like
bro. They
Walmart.
do not give a fuck. I was lying. I wanted to get their mozzarella sticks. I love me some cheese, dude. So I was, I wanted to get some mozzarella sticks, which were on the thing, and they were advertising like this deal where it was like, oh, a bunch of mozzarella sticks for this price or whatever. I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And they're like, yeah, we don't have those. I was like, but the truck is the unloading truck with all of your shit just left. They're like, yeah, no, we're out. We don't got any. We have none. I was like, well, I had like 6 different things too because it kept being like everything I want. Any of that. And I was like, you get like 3 fucking customers a day. There's no way you're fucking out of mozzarella sticks, dude.
That reminds me a lot of Taco Bell. The local Taco Bell. We ordered a bunch of like tacos and stuff like that, and they were out of ground beef, their most common thing in a taco. They were just out of it. They didn't have any of their specialty foods in at all, and they were out of Baja Blast. How was a Taco Bell out of Baja Blast?
How dare they?
That's when I get violent, dude. Like, I can understand being out of stuff, but if I go, because I don't like Taco Bell, so if I go to Taco Bell, it's for a Baja Blast. And if they don't have the one thing that retains my service at a Taco Bell, that's when I get violent.
I thought about flying over the counter to beat
Like,
whoever just told me
one
that.
dude who jumps out of his
Yeah,
car
that-
through the fucking drive-through window.
That and like that one guy jumping at that judge, just straight up zooming over the counter.
Fucking Foxy jump scare.
I think my biggest issue with this local Taco Bell is whenever you order a mobile order ahead, you go there, you tell them your name, they give you your food. Even if they don't have what you want, they still do that. They'll make a fucking... my biggest example is my grandma's sister came down to visit us once, and we all decided Taco Bell was a good idea. Mind you, there's like 8 of us hanging out. I don't even remember what for. But we got Taco Bell. And nothing had lettuce on it because they were out of lettuce. And one of them was a crunch wrap, so like the main ingredient is meat and lettuce, and it didn't have lettuce or cheese on it. It was just a tortilla with meat inside.
I remember that. That was awful.
We called up there and we're like, yeah, we didn't get our shit. And they were like, oh yeah, we were out of lettuce. We couldn't put lettuce in there. And we're like, why didn't you say anything? And they were like, oh, we were out of lettuce. I was just like, I'll kill somebody. I will.
Dude, bro, I swear to God.
That's not the
This
first
episode
time
is
that's
just
happened.
threatening violence on fast food
Listen.
employees.
Dude,
Listen,
fast food
that
employees do
local-
not get paid enough to make me this upset.
That's the biggest fucking issue.
Taco Bell is trash. It always
I
has
didn't
been.
get paid well enough to deal with the bullshit that happened in the restaurant or the customers that wanted to be there.
This comes from such a strong place of like, I've been there, I understand. I worked at Subway, I worked at a regular, I was a line cook at a fancy restaurant, I fucking worked at Sonic for half of my goddamn life.
Yeah,
I
both
get
of us
it.
worked at that same Sonic for ages.
I understand. I have worked in the position of lowly sandwich maker. I have worked in the position of management. I have done literally everything you could do when it comes to serving food. So this does come from a place of experience and a place of, I've been there. I fucking hate food workers. I feel no remorse for any of them. If you've had a long day, that's one thing. But if you somehow manage to fuck up my order after I'm super descriptive when I order shit. I know what it's like. Sometimes the headset is bad, people make mistakes, you hear different things. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you fuck something up and then you get shitty with me because you fucked my order, I don't get shitty with people. I'm just like, hey, listen, this is wrong. I need it fixed. Get it done, please. Thank you. That's all I want. And some people are just like, you make $4 an hour and are getting mad at me because you fucked my shit up. I do not care. I fucking hate food workers.
And I mean, a lot of it is, and again, I mean, like I'm about as you, maybe not to the extent, but I worked at Subway and I worked at a fast food restaurant for like a year. I understand what it's like when people come in and order some bullshit. But at the same time, it's because I come from that place of understanding. I do everything in my power to make sure that what I say is very clear, and that I'm not like. I also try to. I go out of my way to make sure that I'm not ordering something fucking ridiculous. If I'm getting a modified order, it's just like take a piece of this off or add some cheese or whatever.
Yeah, if I get a big order, I always call ahead too. I'm not surprising you with 40 fucking sandwiches.
And so if you're gonna sit there and disrespect me, brother, like I said, I mean, you do not get paid enough to piss me off. Like,
Flip
what is
side,
going on?
There was a situation when I worked at Sonic where the problem wasn't even my some lady had been given the wrong thing. She'd been given not a food item, a sauce. She'd been given ketchup when she wanted mustard, I think. And she called back in, and whoever was on the headset was either hard of hearing or brain damaged, and sent me out with more ketchup. And she just fucking had a meltdown at that. She was like, I asked for mustard! Do you not speak English in there? And I just, not getting paid enough for that, I just spun around on my heel and walked back inside. I was like, well, somebody else can deal with her. I'm not doing it.
Me and Jay almost threw hands with a Whataburger employee last Friday.
Oh.
Me especially. So we were playing cards. We both play Magic the Gathering. It's like 10 o'clock at night. We just left the card store. There's a Whataburger across the street. We're gonna go get some Whataburger. The line's not too big. It's to the speaker. So I'm like, okay,
Whataburger
this will
line, yeah.
take this will take just a little bit of time. Go grab some food. We were in that line for a whole hour.
Mhm.
I get up to make my order. Our orders aren't hard. We order the same thing every time. She gets a double cheeseburger with only pickles, a large onion ring, and a medium chocolate shake. I get a double cheeseburger with only ketchup, a large fry, and a sweet tea. That's pretty simple. That's basic. Burger fries, like burger side drink. I don't know how you mess that up. Um, I repeat this order to him 2 whole times. First time, he's like, okay, order. I start ordering. He's like, no, wait, hold on. He disappears for 10, 15 minutes. Comes back. Is like, all right, now order. So I tell him my order. He's like, he gets all confused as I'm ordering, and I essentially have to repeat it twice to him. And at this point, I'm like, oh fuck, this was a mistake.
The hour wait in line
So
didn't
we
tell
start.
you that much.
No, no, this is at the start. This is like the first
It's a
20
very
minutes.
common thing to have to wait in line for fucking ever.
At a fast
Yeah.
food restaurant.
This is like the first 20
Whataburger
minutes of
specifically.
it. And then as we progress through the line, it's like, you know what the sunk cost fallacy is? I
Yeah.
just wanted my damn food. Jay suggested we leave, and by the end of it, she was upset with me because we should have just left. But we get to the window, and this guy is like, "All right, so what did you guys get?" So I repeat, we had 2 burgers. We had 2 burgers, some onion rings, and a shake. Just like the general idea, so we could find which order it was. This is the third time I've had to repeat my order to this man. He hands me the chocolate shake before we even pay, and then he disappears for another 5 minutes. And Jay's like, if he doesn't ask us to pay, if he asks us to pay, let's just leave. At that point, she was like, let's just get out of here. We got a free shake. I'm like, no, they've already made our food. Let's just pay for the food and go. That's
Bro,
what my
I don't
assumption
give
is.
a fuck,
He
bro.
comes
If you're
back,
making me wait that long.
he comes back out with the food, and he's like, "All right, here you go." Well, he asks us to pay. I pay. He hands me the large sweet teas. Um, and then he goes back, disappears for another 5 minutes, brings back this bag of food that's loaded up. This I didn't think this could have been our food, so I sit there right in front of the window with it still open, and I look in and I pull out the first thing. It's a tiny sandwich. It's a single, like, tiny burger sandwich with like lettuce and mustard and all of this on it. So I'm like, what the fuck is this? I dig down. The next thing is a chicken strip sandwich. So I look at this motherfucker in the drive-thru window. I'm like, how do you fuck this up? What even is this? And I show him the chicken strip sandwich, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And I hand it back to him, and then this jackass from behind him comes up and is like, "Oh, see, I told you so." I almost
And shut
jumped
the
the
fucking window,
fucking
I
window.
swear to God.
In that moment, I turned into a Karen. I
The
was
amount of
so
times.
fucking
Fucking,
pissed.
fucking, I told you
So
so. I fucking told you so.
yeah, he said that to the guy in the window. Like,
That's what I would
what
have
the
been like. Oh yeah, he fucking
fuck?
told you so. Did he? He fucking told you so. Is that what he fucking did?
So I had to repeat the order to him a
Jesus.
fourth time, and then they go make the order. They hadn't even made the food yet. So I'm in there for another
God.
like 7 minutes waiting on my food to get made.
Dude, at that point, I would have walked
I
my happy ass in there and made my food myself. I've already
I was
paid for that
about
shit. I'm
From
getting my
burgers.
food.
I was about to say I worked into a fucking kitchen for 5 years. Not consecutively, but like, how do you? Not only that, so originally,
And the
me and
stamina
Jay
you had
thought,
going for you there. Not
yeah,
consecutively.
I know, sorry, but me and Jay were talking. We are like, yeah, they're probably. Jay said they're usually understaffed at the store because they've had a change in management or something.
That's not my
And
fucking problem.
see, that's what I thought first of all. And first of all, I'm like, I worked in a kitchen, even understaffed. It doesn't take one whole hour to clear 5 cars. It doesn't. I don't know what store you're at. It doesn't take 1 hour to clear 5 cars.
Me and Sully
But
can
I
clear
pull up to the
5 cars
drive-thru.
in an hour.
I don't know if he ever told you about me and him in that Sonic kitchen.
Dude, Caden,
I've
you
heard some
think
stories.
me and him, you think me and you have a good work story? Me and Landon have like the origin stories of my villainy.
Yeah, but
That's beautiful.
but we get up to the window. It's a fully staffed kitchen. There's 6 people in that kitchen. I saw 6 different people.
Someone's head in the fryer.
Get their
Needless
balls in
to
the
say, I
fryer.
will never go to that Whataburger again.
I'm gonna dip my balls in their soda dispenser.
And I learned a very valuable lesson. The woman is always right. I should have just left. I should have just left. I shouldn't have gone there.
Dude, we're gonna get a lot of hate for this because a lot of people are food workers. So, but again, this comes from a place of knowledge. I've been there, worked in fast food for 4 or 5 years almost of my life. Fuck those people. I hate them.
The issue comes in like general competency. Like I get if you're having a rough day and you fuck something up, like I understand. But if that shit happens, dude, if I'm sitting there and I hear your coworker go, "I told you so," brother, I swear to God, somebody's getting hit.
I
Like
couldn't tell if he was high off his ass or if he was just retarded.
like you are too
He was
fucking
just
stupid to be
brain dead.
making food. I cannot believe you haven't lost your hand to the deep fryer, bro.
Oh man, another thing I
Jesus
hate about this
Christ.
local Taco Bell, anytime you order in the drive-through at all, it could be mobile app order ahead, any of that. You'll pull up to the window. They'll give you your drinks, and they're like, "Oh yeah, pull around to the front. We'll bring your food out." There can be no cars behind you at all. You have
They're getting their fucking window time up, bro. They have times that cars sit in the window, and the less time there is, the better your numbers look. They're getting their window time up.
Yeah, it's the same way with the McDonald's here too. They'll immediately say your order is ready on their little monitor to get their time down too. It's incredible.
Dude,
That's what they
I've
do in
never, I've never worked at a McDonald's, but I've heard the horror stories. They don't count like, so at Sonic, for instance, your time was counted in minutes. You know, the rule is out the door in under 4, so you got to make the food and the drinks and get it out to the customer in under 4 minutes. McDonald's timers run on seconds. You have to be able to make a burger in like 20 seconds or some shit like that. Like they run super,
fuck does that
super
work?
strict. I don't know. I
wonder
genuinely
why.
don't know. They literally have second timers.
Their
Looking like it's been shot out of a
cookers are
cannon.
set up to cook burgers like constantly. They're supposed to, I think, have a constant flow of stuff. But like everything else,
Stop working at McDonald's.
everything else is dispensed at their own thing. Like their ketchup and stuff like that, perfect every time. Pickles, stuff like that. I don't know why they always come out sideways, but they have dispensers for all of that. That's probably how they can make it that.
Oh yeah, Landon. At Sonic, we
Isn't that
had
crazy?
like
It's almost automated. All they got to do is put some fucking robots in there, and they can do the same job.
we had
Unironic.
we made burgers and put them in things called castles. We had a burger castle, and it's just one tray held 8 burgers. And whenever a tray ran out, we'd throw some more on the grill, do the timer, we'd flip them, put it back in the castle. We'd always have like 16 burgers ready for lunch and dinner, and then 8 burgers ready otherwise. Because we were a high volume store, but we really never had an issue with keeping up with burgers. At McDonald's, they are constantly cooking burgers. And it's not like you put it on the grill and flip it. They have a closing grill, so it's a grill on the bottom and there's a grill on the top. So it's just like sandwiches the patty between 2 flat tops and fucking smelts that shit in like 30 seconds.
God damn.
And they just
So
do
it's like
that
a griddle.
constantly.
Like a griddle
I mean,
press.
literally.
Yeah, they
And
press their
it's-
meats.
That's
If
fucking.
you've ever gone into
Wow.
a McDonald's kitchen, like you can see that they are gearing up to everybody with robots. Because like the way they have it set up is legitimately a robot could do it. It's like
There
the
were
fucking
stores that's rolling
automated
out.
chains.
They're
Are there
rolling
like
out
actual
stores.
McDonald's stores?
Yeah, no, they're starting.
Yeah,
to
there's
roll
a
out
few
just
fully
test
automated stores already, yeah.
Well, there you
done it for
fucking
person.
go.
And I want to say this, Sully. You mentioned that there's usually 16. Fucking Angie, she would load like 4 trays.
40, yeah, there was always so
Like-
many.
There would be probably around 12 burgers in each tray.
Dude, she got pissed at me one time after I got promoted to crew lead and was told to watch the kitchen
It's
and
not
stuff.
everybody.
No, but listen, it was bad. I was promoted to crew lead, and Shonda was like, yeah, just, patrol the kitchen, make sure all the castles are filled with food, make sure the chicken's not hard, Because if you leave the chicken in the castles too long, it gets hard because they're heated castles. And,
I mean, Mike was hard when he made this chicken.
no, it was me. I was hard when I made the chicken. So I'm just doing my job, right? I'm going around checking food, stocking us up, cleaning the grill. Like, my whole existence was just clean shit and made sure we had food and then cook when it gets busy. And that's what I did, always. As a crew lead, that's all I did was check and make sure our food was stocked up. And Angie, this old-ass fucking 80-year-old hag, who somehow still stood 6 foot tall and looked like she could lift a horse, and still had bags on her face from the 80s. I don't know. She was one hell of a woman, I gotta tell you. I've never seen somebody that old be that angry all the
worked
time.
at a Sonic in our town for like 30 years. Through multiple different locations.
Like her whole life.
Can you imagine working
And she was
for Sonic
only
for
a cook.
30 fucking
She has-
years?
She's denied promotion after promotion. She's just a cook.
Yeah.
And the
She
reason is
became-
because she doesn't
Was
want
she a
responsibility.
bitch?
She was a cunt.
yeah.
She was the worst. She became a
No
crew
wonder she got
lead.
denied a fucking promotion.
No, she denied them.
promotions.
Yeah, she declined them.
Oh, I see. I was misunderstanding.
Yeah, so this same lady, I'm doing my job, checking castles and shit, and she's like, hey, I know you're doing your job, but you don't have to check my castles. I'll always have burger stocks. And by the way, she only ever worked burger station. She didn't do anything else. Burgers from the time she got there till the time she left, and that was it.
I've got her to not do burgers a couple times.
Yeah, so
it was very rare.
I check her burger
He's
castle,
getting Richard to do shit.
and I was like, look, I'm just doing my job. Doing what I was told to do by your boss and mine. Whatever, just let me do my job. And I'd checked it 4 more times, and she went back and grabbed our GM and was like, he won't quit checking my castle. And she's like, yeah, I told him to. And she got so pissed. She left early. She didn't come in the next day. She was belligerently pissed that I checked her castles for fresh meat.
I
2
will say
months.
something about her.
2 months after I got my promotion, she promoted. Completely out of spite, so I couldn't tell her what to do. She became a crew lead just so she didn't have to listen to me.
That is beautiful.
She 100%
No,
earns
fuck
all of
you.
the shit she's
It's
able to
impressive.
throw out, though, which is incredible. She only works the burger station, and there is a reason, at least.
Oh yeah, she
You
was
keep her on
good
the
at it.
burgers, you will never have to worry about it. Even in some of the worst rushes, she is on top of it. Doesn't matter how bad it gets.
I've never seen an
She-
old lady sling meat like that.
I don't
When I
like that.
started,
That's
she
a
was the one who
sentence.
trained me, and it was an experience. Management had to get onto her because she kept making new hires quit because she was such an abrasive person. She would keep scaring people away.
She was
Which
an awful human being.
Honestly, good. I loved working in the kitchen with her. It was great.
She calmed
She
down
would
every
say
once in a
something.
while, and she was fun to be around, and she could joke. But 9 times out of 10, if she wasn't joking, she was a cunt.
At the Sonic I used to work at, that was always sarcastic and angry with most of the people that worked there. But because I was also usually sarcastic and angry with most of the people that worked there, we got along pretty well. Like, even got to the point where she'd just straight up sneak me some food. In fact, I worked with both her and her sister because they both acted kind of similar, and they put up with me getting pissed off at customers after they'd start just bitching me out over something that either had nothing to do with me or was completely their own fault. There was one time, this was actually when I first started, before I had really made friends with anybody. There was some dumb bitch, probably in onset dementia stage, forgot she had taken back her card after I ran it, and then just started berating me, "Where's my card?" Kept this up for like 5 minutes, like, "I'm about to lose my shit if you don't give me my card." I told one of the managers that, and she was like, "Oh, she's gonna lose her shit, huh?" Lo and behold, the lady suddenly took off because she realized she was wrong and a cunt.
That's
I never
amazing.
saw her again, but I always wished she would have come back one more time.
Solly hurt our boss's feelings again.
Today, yeah.
What did you
What
do?
did you
He has. And listen, I want to preface this with he's not a bad guy. He's just a very stressed boss who is. You
He's
know,
bipolar.
when somebody
So,
does something.
Mitch looked at me and went, "He is so bipolar, it stresses me out." I went, I think he might actually be bipolar. Because his moods are always fucking everywhere.
It seems like the super toxic thing at first. He'll say something, and then at the earliest convenience, when something happens and he wants to do it a different way, he's like, "No, I never said that." It's happened more than once, but today we're not apparently, as far as what I knew before today, we're not supposed to lift loaded trailers. We have like 5-ton and 10-ton jacks. We have really heavy jacks, but a loaded trailer that's not secured can fall, or a hitch can break. There's a lot of shit that goes on with trailers, and we don't lift them because Walmart doesn't want to deal with that. Or so I thought, because today somebody came in with a loaded trailer that had a whole ass car on it,
With car tires on it.
with car tires on the trailer, which is already a big no-no. And he came out and looked at it and was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." Lifted the trailer, and I was working on a different car, and he came in with that tire, and I was like, "I thought we weren't supposed to lift loaded trailers." And he was like, "No, who said that?" And I was like, "You did. We've had this conversation before." And he's like, "No, I think you're making shit up." And this is where the problem comes in, because the biggest issue he has is the very first thing you say to him is immediately offensive. He jumps on the defense and is like, "No, I think you're making shit up. You're just fucking stupid." Like, immediately is a super cunt for no reason at all. I was like, "No, I've been yelled at by you before for lifting a trailer that had shit on it." And he's like, "No, I've never done that. That's never happened before. In fact, I've never said anything about lifting trailers." And I looked over at Caden and said, "Hey, Caden, are we allowed to lift loaded trailers?" And Caden said, "No, I don't think so." And I looked at Mitch, and Mitch was like, "I was pretty sure we weren't supposed to lift them either." And Derek was looking around, and he's like, "You guys are just making this up." And I was like, "No, Derek, we listened to you because you're our boss." And we went
He's
through
having
this
a
whole
schizo
fucking
attack.
thing. And I was like, "I'm not making shit up, first of all. That's disrespectful as fuck for you to just come at me like that, because I asked you a question. You're the guy who's supposed to know these things. I'm supposed to come to you for the answers. You signed up for it. You coming at me sideways because I asked a fucking question is disrespectful as shit."
It's not like we can go to our team lead either.
Yeah, Kyle's a dumbass. He doesn't know shit from fuck.
No, he does, but he chooses not to give straight answers.
And he's a piece of shit. Oh, God, I hate
Yeah,
Kyle, but that's a
like,
whole different story.
He's been there for over 25.
I know at some point this podcast will take off, and maybe they'll hear us because they're like, oh, hey, you know, these people used to work for us. I'll check it out. Kyle, if you hear this, you're a good person. You're a shit boss. Quit your job.
Let me take over.
Even if it's a different job.
No, just quit that job specifically. Fuck what you do afterwards.
Continue to collect your trains. He loves his trains.
And drums. He's a great drummer. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
He's fun to be around. He's a shit boss. Anyway, he did all that shit and he walked away later and I finished the car I was working on. And he came back and I stepped aside with him for a second. I was like, look, I'm not trying to be an asshole and I'm not trying to undermine you. So I quite frankly do not give a shit. But that was disrespectful as fuck and I don't appreciate it. I'm not the only person here who thinks this. I'm not the only person here who said that you told us that. So maybe you take a fucking step back and look at the situation before you start treating me like an asshole. I was like, I'm not your enemy. I'm not trying to besmirch you. I'm not trying to be a dick for no reason. I asked a question, and you as the boss are supposed to answer those questions because you have to know those things. You signed up for that. I shouldn't have to avoid talking to you because you're an asshole. And we've had this conversation before. I remember telling you guys I blew up on him for like 2 hours. I called back to that and I was like, I told you you weren't an approachable person, and this is why. I asked you a genuine fucking question about my job, and you treated me like I was an idiot and disrespected me.
Well, I mean, sometimes you gotta knock somebody down so that they learn how the fuck to behave.
Oh man, if we're talking about awful managers and things like that. Today at my store, so my store manager, I closed with her today, and she smokes a lot. She just smokes a lot. I wanted to see just how much she smokes. So I took down the time that she went out to a smoke break and time when she came back in. And we did the percentage, and about 20% of the time of that she worked with me, she was outside taking a smoke break.
Yeah, I got the numbers. We did it earlier before I started recording. She had a 10-hour shift,
What?
and she gets an hour lunch. So she has a 9-hour shift. And I did the numbers, and she had 110 minutes worth of smoke break. Or no, it was an 11-hour shift with an hour break. So 10 hours. That's 600 minutes plus a 15 at the end for closing. So 615 minutes. And 110 of those were spent smoking.
Oh no, we don't spend the extra 15. We close directly at 9. We start our closing tasks before. Yeah, no. And to answer Garrett's thing about like reporting it, I have two of my other managers, which we all kind of hate her because she's bad at her job and does a bunch of big no-nos. We are since I started this today, we're actually going to start recording her smoke breaks throughout the day. All of us are, and it's just awful.
So
I have-
you remember that
my-
one guy? I blew up on Jonathan because of him. The guy that kept taking smoke breaks.
The fucking. Oh, yeah, I don't remember his name.
I-
He's the one who
he-
tried to
I don't
buy
either.
my car before you did.
Did he?
Yeah, that was that
He
guy.
Oh God.
So it was just me in the kitchen alone that day. And there was one other person with me. I was helping train. Well, it was me, this guy, and one. She was a car hop. She was very small, just learning how to do the kitchen because she was trying to get a promotion. She's real sweet. I can't remember her name.
This is editing, Sully. It was Suzanne. I remember. Her name was Suzanne, and she was fucking wonderful. She became a manager later.
But it was me and her and him in the kitchen, and I was showing her how to do things. Honestly, showing them both how to do things. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna take a quick 30-minute lunch break. I was taking half the break. I normally do. I take an hour because fuck Sonic. I know you're not supposed to, but take a quick lunch break. I'll be back. Let me know if you need anything. Because 2 new people in the kitchen being left alone, I would like them to let me know if they need help. I get back, and she is panicking in the kitchen. alone in the middle of a huge rush, and this fucker is out on the sidewalk taking a smoke break. He left someone who has been in the kitchen. I think that was her second day in the kitchen,
Yeah,
alone
it was.
in
It
the
was.
middle of a lunch rush. I went straight to our general manager and I blew up on him and I told him, "You need to do something about this guy, or I will. We cannot have people abandoning the kitchen to go take a smoke break." He said he originally said that he doesn't want to take a lunch break and instead wants extra smoke breaks, which if you want to split your it's supposed to be 30-minute lunch break into two 15-minute lunch breaks, smoke breaks, and take, I don't know, you're supposed to technically get 2 already or something. So I'm like, okay, if you want to take more 4 smoke breaks and like spread them out throughout the day of like 8-9 hour shift, I don't care. Go ahead. This motherfucker, every 30 minutes he'd be out there taking a smoke break. Every 30 minutes. Almost half of his day was out there smoking. It was insane. I can't remember how long he worked there. I do not think it was long.
That kind of adds to what I was doing. So closing shift at AutoZone is a red shirt and a gray shirt, a manager, sales associate, or 2 gray shirts. So it was just me and my store manager, and she was out there nearly every hour on the hour. It was insane. And for some reason, even though we have the rodeo in town, today was busy and just stupid busy. And I swear I needed
Busy
a
because it's the
manager.
nicest day of the year, dude.
That
That's
is
why
true,
today was.
yeah. And
Believe
like,
me, I felt that shit today, man. We were so fucking busy today.
and I swear I needed a manager's password for everything because warranty exchanges, returns, things like that. If they're high enough money, you need a manager's password. But I swear, every time one came in and needed that, she was outside taking a smoke break. I just ooh, and this was 6 hours, just me and my store manager. It was awful.
Sully,
Yeah.
Richard and the 99 Room.
I don't even want to get into that. I'm okay. I feel better not talking about it.
Friday in the mornings, I am with 2 older gentlemen, and they just fuck off. One just had eye surgery, so he can like actually see now, and he's like, "Oh, the world." The other one just likes to talk to customers, and so they just fuck off, and it leaves me with no service writer, so all me. And then on Tuesdays, well, Tuesday isn't bad. Monday can get kind of rough though, because I'm gonna just stop talking.
Well,
Anyway,
I'm gonna be, yeah.
Garrett, what was your story?
I mean, I got a couple of stories in terms of like bad coworkers. Right now, my one of my current coworkers, he's just fucking lazy is the biggest issue.
Everywhere.
It's not only that he's lazy, but it's that he likes to. The other day, like, I'll sum this up perfectly. The other day, he had been there for like 2 or 3 hours at the store, and granted, it was a slower day, but he likes to go and hide in the back and just kind of sit in the back. Now, if he hears noise and anyway, there's really a time where we'll have these moments that he needs to come up and help because we don't often get rushed like that. Most people take their time in our store if there's more than one at a time. But the other day, one of my other coworkers had come in and we started talking and we started joking and stuff. We joked around about how because he likes to say he does more work than everybody else. So we started joking around about that. And of course, he couldn't let his name go unsullied. No pun intended. And so he was like, I can guarantee you I do more work than everybody else in the store, and it's not even a contest. And I was like, you've been here for how many? Because we can check on our computers, like how many transactions we've done, the dollar amount, just like how close we are to hitting goal for the day and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that reminds me, how many transactions have you done? It was 2 in 3 whole hours. And in that same 3 hours, I had done 12. And so that's the kind of guy that he is. He does absolutely nothing. Or if, like, on truck days, you tell him to, hey, go put up truck. He will grab a cart and he'll roll around and he'll put up like 2 or 3 things and then he'll fuck off. As soon as he gets to work, he goes and he takes a shit. It's clockwork shit with him. He takes extended fucking lunch breaks, which he's not supposed to do. He's just that kind of coworker, and like, it just gets so fucking annoying, bro. Like yesterday, I closed with him. This motherfucker was climbing to the top of the fucking of our goddamn fucking shelves and just sitting up there in one of the empty shelves we had at the top. And it's like,
Yeah.
listen, I hate this fucking job. I get it, but show me some fucking common courtesy, dude.
We have one of those at the shop. Well, you hear him talk us about it a lot.
Fucking Christ. And it wouldn't be so bad if he didn't, like, oh, I do more work than anybody here. You don't do shit, bro. You barely check out customers. Sit down.
Felt that. God.
All right, so the question asked earlier, and a follow-up question, was what is the best fast food restaurant? And we'll put it to a vote, so we only have one dominant winner. I have a list compiled here, and what we're going to do is I'm going to go through the list, and we're going to vote yes or no for best fast food restaurant. If it gets, since there's 6 of us, if it gets 4 of us to say no, we'll delete it entirely from the list, and we'll narrow it down until there's only one option left. On this list, I have Costco, Quick Trip, Freddy's, Come and Go, Brahms, Wendy's, and McAllister. Did I miss anything?
No, I
don't
think
think
that'd
so.
be good.
Okay, we're going to start from the top at Costco. Do we think this is the best fast food restaurant?
Yes.
No.
I just don't know enough about it, so I'll say no.
Yes.
2 yeses and 2 nos. Costco was voted off the list. Quick Trip.
Was it?
It was.
No.
What did Garrett say?
Garrett said
No
no.
to Quick Trip.
No to Quick Trip.
No to Quick Trip. Fuck
3
Quick Trip.
no's. I need one
Me
more.
and my homies hate Quick Trip.
You
say
know
no
what?
to Quick Trip.
I'll abstain from voting, so we always have 5 votes. No to Quick Trip. Quick Trip has been eliminated. Freddy's Steak Burgers.
No.
Yes.
Only
Yeah.
one I actually know anything about, so I'm gonna vote yeah.
Okay, Freddy's stays. Come and go.
It said no to the first actual fast food restaurant on the fucking selection.
Come and go. No.
I know
No.
nothing about Come and Go, so no.
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 All right, Brahms.
Yes.
Yeah.
They fucked up my orders a lot lately, so no.
Yeah.
Brahms is good.
Jesus.
Yes.
I had to wait
fucking
10
love
minutes
Brahms.
for a fucking sandwich.
Brahms is the shit, except for they're always so fucking busy, and every time I go, no reason for you to be that busy.
Brahms
I
is
went
just
in.
that good, bro.
It is that.
The one
good.
here sucks. It's ruined my perception.
Bag of burgers.
Perception.
Well, when you come back to town, we'll get Brahms and fix your perception. All right, Wendy's.
Wendy's nuts
nah.
in your mouth.
No.
No.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Landslide no for Wendy's.
I
Jesus
can't
Christ.
fucking believe you guys.
I know.
Fuck Wendy's.
You guys just don't have. You guys don't know what good food is.
McAllister's.
Yes.
I still know nothing about
no.
Never had
McAllister's.
it.
I mean, I understand the reasoning, but it's not a fast food joint. So no.
I've never had
Quite
McAllister's.
literally a sandwich deli.
And it is still faster than most fast foods.
Yeah, but it's not a fast food place. Though.
See, if you're gonna make
And
that
the
argument,
price isn't that
then
bad either.
Costco and Quick Trip and all of those can be on here too.
All right, so we have 2 options. It's a 50-50. I want you all to think about the french fries, the sandwiches, the service, but most importantly, which place you think tastes better and has the best food. Because after all, this is about the food. So ignoring the service, is Freddy's or Brahms better?
Brahms.
All right, that's 1 for Brahms.
One based exclusively off quality of food. Freddy's. Period.
I gotta say, Freddy's, man, I'll eat their fries and I'll get like 4 or 5 baskets at a time. It's insane.
With some Freddy's, I love the burgers.
For the most part, I couldn't remember ever eating at Freddy's until just recent. Like, and then just in my mind, I'm just craving Brahms every chicken. Every time I remember Brahms, I crave their chicken. I finally just now remembered my last experience at Freddy's. It was some good ass food.
Telling you, dude.
Good food.
I mean, if we're talking, so I'll say this much, right? If we're talking about like overall quality of restaurant, the Brahms all the way. But like if we're talking exclusively the quality of the food, of the two that makes the better food,
It's
Freddy's
Freddy's.
just has a bigger budget to play with. They have better food. It's just how it is.
All right, so the question is, if I add quality into the mix, which are you picking?
Brahms.
Brahms for sure. I think Brahms has some of the best food for the price range, and it's also one of the cheapest places that I can go and enjoy a good meal at.
I've still had
And
the most consistent quality at Freddy's.
I like Freddy's a lot, but Freddy's is fucking expensive.
I don't know. Brahms here isn't what I would consider. Honestly, they're about. I don't know what the current price is, but they're last I remembered, they were still neck and neck on price. And the only difference is that Brahms keeps fucking up my orders or doing something wrong.
Well, let's think about this too. They're both known for serving ice cream.
That's true.
I
It is
don't
called
get ice cream
Freddy's
from
custard.
any of them enough.
Custard. And see, I hate custard.
What's the difference?
Hate it.
Isn't the
It's-
difference just how they're prepared? I'm pretty
Mm.
sure that's the only difference between ice cream and custard is how they are prepared.
Custard is
Custard
it's
is
more
made
of
from
an
egg.
yeah, it's an eggy thing.
Oh, okay, I got you.
All right, so I've got all your minds churning about these last two options again. I'm gonna recast a vote. Which one is the all-time best in your mind? You can include quality of food or service, or you can't. I just want to know which one to you is the best.
I gotta say, Freddy's. I've had consistent good services with all different Freddy's, and then Brahms is kind of hit or miss with locations. So I gotta say Freddy's.
I'll say Freddy's. I used to work at Brahms. I hate Brahms. Their chicken is good.
Freddy's because, I mean, the food is always the same quality and the people don't look like they hate me and their lives.
Honestly, I will stand by Brahms, but I've never liked Freddy's, and I will say that.
You're dead to me.
Their fries are good. Their fries are good, but
Fucking fries are bomb.
I've never liked it.
Gotta say, if we're talking just general overall experience, it's gotta be Brahms, man. I've never had a bad experience. Their food is cheap. Their food is good. The service is typically all right. And at the very least, not bad enough for me to justify not liking them. So I gotta go with my boy.
All right, ladies. The poll is in. It has been decided by the Road Closed podcast. Freddy's is the all-time best fast food restaurant. And now we all have to schedule a date to go eat Freddy's together. The Road Closed podcast has decided we love Freddy's and hate everybody who works at fast food and our jobs.
That is a good conclusion there. Yeah.
My name is Garrett, and I approve this message.
No, I actually like my job.
This has been the Road Closed podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. I'm sorry in advance for the next episode because we're all still going to be here, unfortunately. Good luck with that, I guess. Next time it will be infinitely worse, and you will have ended the episode thinking, I could have listened to something else. But until that time comes, this is the Road Closed podcast. I am Sully. These are my friends. Goodbye.